Hey everyone, Lee Lowell here from smartoptionseller.com. Happy New Year, it's 2024. Welcome to another year of trading, my first video here of 2024. Although it's a new one for 2024, we're going to be talking about the same things. Okay, if you're an options trader or even a stock trader, the most important thing that you need to know is that you have to figure out which way a stock is going to move. You can't be profitable as a trader if you have no idea if the stock's going up, down, or sideways. So once again, we're starting off this year with the way that we figure out where a stock is headed. How do you do that? By looking at the stock charts. It's just that simple. There's no other way to, and you shouldn't be trading options or even stocks if you're not looking at the stock charts, because the stock charts help you figure out which way the stock is going or not going. All right. So in this video, just like many others that we've done before, we're going to look at the stock charts. I'm going to show you my setups. I'm going to show you what indicators I use, and I'm going to show you what I'm seeing on the charts. There's no other way to do it. And what we do with the Smart Option Seller is we run newsletters and we sell put options and we sell put option credit spreads. Those are all bullish strategies. Okay. So we want to look for trades that are stocks that are going to be moving up. And how do we do that? Looking at the stock charts. All right. So let's just jump right in and start looking at some charts. So what you'll see on your screen in front of you is the charts that I look at. And up here in this area is what's called the price action. Each one of these lines is 1 day's worth of trading. I look at daily bar charts. These are open, high, low, close bars. These are not candlesticks. I don't look at candlesticks. And down here is the only other indicator that I use. It's called the RSI. It's an overbought, oversold indicator. It's got a 14-day look back period on a closing basis, and it oscillates between overbought and oversold levels. I use the 80 level and the 20 level, these horizontal lines here, as my levels for overbought or oversold. You can change those to any level that you want. And up here in the price action area, I also have 3 other lines. I have a 20-day, a 50-day, and a 200-day simple moving averages. I only use 3 of them, but try to keep my chart simple. So I've got the 3 moving averages and the RSI, and that's all I look at to help me figure out which way a stock is headed. Now also, here we can draw these blue lines. They're called channels. Channels are the easiest and best ways to figure out which way a stock is trending, okay? And it's just manual labor. You draw, you connect some tops and you connect some bottoms after, a month or two's worth of trading, and you extend the lines. That way you'll see where in the future the stock or the index could potentially fall or jump from. Okay. It's just, as I say it all the time, an object in motion tends to stay in that motion until something comes along and pushes it in another direction. The stock market is no different. A stock within a trend is going to stay in that trend until something comes along and pushes it in another direction. So all of 2022, or most of 2022, was in a downtrend. And then October of 2022, right here, the market started going up. So we draw our trend lines and then we wait for higher probability setups. That is very key. Higher probability setups. What does that mean? Well, once you have your channels drawn, if a stock pulls back to the bottom edge of the channel here, you wait until you see it starting to rally again, and that's your higher probability setup to get into a bullish trade. What we do with the Smart Option Seller, since we do bullish trades, we sell put options, we sell put option credit spreads. We like to look for stocks in an uptrend, but then we wait for that pullback and then we wait for that move again higher. That's when we decide to get into the trade. So if you want to learn a little bit more about what we do and what put selling is all about, go to our website, smartoptionseller.com. We have our free ebook. You can click on that. Okay, it's going to take you to that page here. Put Selling Basics is our free ebook, and you'll just put your name and email address in here. We'll send you an email back with a link for the ebook. The other things that we do, you can click on our services tab here. We have our newsletters, we have our coaching. And if you want to go a little bit deeper into what put selling is all about, we have our 5-part put selling webinar recordings that you can purchase. Okay, so that's what we do with the Smart Option Seller. Let's go back to the charts here. So we like to look at the indexes first. Okay, the indexes pretty much drive the markets on a daily basis. Since each individual stock doesn't really have a lot of news going on a daily basis, we like to track the indexes. We use the SPY, the SPY to track the S&P 500. This is the exchange traded fund for the SPY. And we use the QQQ, the triple Qs for the NASDAQ, and the DIA for the diamonds. Okay, so let's look at the SPY first because it's the best overall view of the market as a whole, in my opinion. So what's been happening? Well, 2023 was a great year for the SPY, for the market as a whole. Went up, finished on the highs. Here's the end of 2023, right around here, finished on the highs. And these first few days, the first week of trading in 2024, there has been some profit taking. People want to lock in those gains from 2023. So we have some selling going on. Not a big deal. I'm a bull, always been a bull, very optimistic. Why? Because the stock market it always goes up over time. Okay, that's just how it works. If you look at a long-term chart, let's go out to the monthly chart on the S&P 500. The market just goes up over time. Now, my chart only goes back to 1993 or so. Obviously, the market's been trading a lot longer than that. If you have a charting capabilities that go back even earlier, you'll see the market has been going up ever since. And why is that? Why does the market just go up over time? Even pandemics and wars and inflation and interest rates, the market will find a way to go up over time. Sure, we'll have pullbacks and we'll have sideways action for a while, but eventually markets go up in the long run, over the long run. And why is that? Because these are not just numbers on a screen. These are not just numbers just flashing around out in the air. The indexes are real companies. They're making real products and people are spending their money to buy these products. And as long as those companies' revenues are going up, increasing over time, the stock chart has to go up as well. So that's why the indexes go up over time, because it's made up of quality companies and people are buying these products, okay? So if you want to become wealthy in the long run, the stock market's a long game. You got to be in it for the long haul, and you have to have patience. Now, there's plenty of people that come to me. They want to learn how to day trade. They want to get in and out of the market. They want to make their money every single day. They want to get rich. That is a very hard thing to do. I can't do it. I've never been able to do it. It is taxing. It will grind you down. It will wear you down. It is emotionally draining. You're going to make money one day, lose money the next day, and eventually you're just going to You're going to either be treading water, maybe you'll make a little money, maybe you're probably going to lose money. It is a hard slog, okay? People usually end up in frustration because it's just too hard to do. So take some advice from me. The stock market is a long game, meaning long term, and you'll be rewarded over time. Okay, but there's also nothing wrong with being a trader. I'm a trader, but I don't day trade. I'm a couple months is my length of time. And that's how we do it here at the Smart Option Seller in our newsletters. Most of our trades last anywhere from 1 to 3 months in time. And we take advantage of these moves in the market. And we sell put options that have high probabilities of winning because we know how to do it. So what do we see for the market going forward? Well, we have a little bit of pullback here, some profit taking, but I see the market going up, breaking all-time highs. The all-time high on the SPY is 480. We closed 2023 just below that. So I really don't see the market staying down for long. There really is no reason for the market to stay down for long. You got a lot of bears out there. There's always someone that's saying the crash is coming. The crash is coming. The crash doesn't come. Okay, because like I said, these are real companies. There's really no reason for these companies all to go bankrupt. So we've got a little pause here, a little pullback. But to me, it's just a better place to get bullish or long. You got the pullback, so you're getting a little discount going on right here. Let's look at the NASDAQ, which is we use the triple Qs for that. Okay. So we had this support area for a while, and then around the end of October, we just had this power move higher. And right at the end of 23, finished on all-time highs. And then obviously the first week of trading in 2024, we have some profit taking. We've got the 50-day moving average lurking right down below. It has fallen below the 20-day moving average, but I can't see it holding down for too long. I think the market's just kind of taking a breather here. and people are going to start buying up for 2024. So we're just going to wait for that next bull move to happen. Let's look at the diamonds. DIA. Okay, this is the exchange traded fund for the Dow. DIA. 20-day moving average right here. Okay, all sloping upwards. 20-day, 50-day, 200-day. It's very important that if they're sloping upwards, if they're all sloping upwards, that means the stock or index is still in an uptrend. Even if you have a little bit of pullback, the stock trend is still intact, okay? So the Dow really looks strong here. It got a little overbought. You can see right here above the 80 level on the RSI. So obviously we had a little bit of selling. But for the foreseeable future, I'm bullish. I think the market's going to keep going up. So let's start looking at some individual stocks as we typically do. We like to look at some of the bigger stocks, the more popular stocks, and these happen to be mostly NASDAQ stocks. So we'll run through maybe 20 stocks here. Now, this is Apple, one of everyone's favorites. Now, you can see this W pattern, which is just a number of channels that Apple had, all of 2022 or most of 2022 was in this big range here. The resistance was right around $180 a share for a very long period of time. Finally broke through that in the summer of 23, came back down a little bit more, got some support here, and then it blasted up again. So Apple's been sort of erratic and volatile too. But what I'm going to say here is Apple almost hit $200 a share. That was its all-time high towards the end of in December of 23. But look, you've had this big pullback here. There was some news that came out about Apple and its iWatches or something, that they couldn't sell them or something. I don't really know what the news was, but we got a nice $20 pullback right here. And look where it stopped, right on the 200-day moving average, I should say. These moving averages will always act as areas of a magnet. You'll see the price action will either gravitate towards one of these moving averages. It'll trade around it for a period of time, you can see, but they'll always sort of stop right at these thresholds of the moving average. You can see this 200-day moving average right here. Here's the 200-day moving average, right around $180 a share. That the price action just seemed to stop. Okay, so if you're looking to get long Apple, this is one of your higher probability setups. It's fallen all the way down to the 200-day moving average. And, I think that could be a great place to potentially, dip your toes. If you want to get bullish Apple, you dip your toes in and wait to see if the bounce occurs. If it does, then you could probably scale into some more longs as it's starting to move up. But right now, it's a nice $20 discount. RSI is getting a little bit towards the oversold area. So you got, the moving average, you got the RSI all coming down into more oversold areas. This could be a decent area to potentially get long Apple. All right. So let's see what else we have here. That's Apple. Let's look at Amazon. Mostly these big tech stocks. Amazon is getting hit in the highs at the end of 2023, has the selling coming in the first week of January 2024. And once again, 50-day moving average acting just like a magnet. This is not a coincidence. It happens all the time. The price action will stop right on one of these moving averages. Okay, so if it starts to bounce, if you want to be a bull and it starts to bounce, you wait for that bounce for your higher probability setup. That's what we do. Okay, so that's Amazon. Probably going to go back higher. That's just the way I see it. Let's look at Microsoft. Microsoft also finished on, near the highs at the end of 2023. Once again, 50-day moving average. Look how the price action stopped right on the 50-day moving average. So it's going to, it has to digest. It probably will trade a little sideways. And then there's really no reason for the markets to sell off. What is out there that would cause the markets to sell off? These companies are all doing well. They pump out good earnings. Sales are going up. Revenues are going up. What would be the reason for the market to go down? So you wait for a higher probability setup. Here's it's catching right on the 50-day moving average. Wait for the bounce, and if it bounces, then there's going to be momentum behind it. Let's look at Tesla. one of everyone's favorites. If you watch these videos here, you know that it's even hard for me to figure out which way Tesla's going. It's such an erratic stock. I try to draw, my patterns and these indicators, and it's too hard. It's too hard to figure out which way Tesla's going to move. But for the most part, it's a perennial bull move. Most people are bullish on Tesla, and it just doesn't sell off for that long. There's big bearish players out there, but they got beat pretty bad in 2023. If you're betting against Tesla, you were not really happy in 2023. But what am I seeing? Tesla's just all over the map. It's hard for me to even give you an idea, but you can see right here, here's the 50-day moving average. Look how the price action stopped right on that. Here's the 50-day. Here's how it finished on Friday, January 5th, right on the 50-day moving average. So Tesla will probably bounce here, probably go up. You've got the 200-day moving average lurking right below it. So if it does sell off a little bit more, you got the 200-day moving right around, 200-day moving average right around $230. So that's probably your other higher probability support area for Tesla. Let's look at Adobe and then Nvidia, these big stocks. Adobe had a great comeback in 2023. It finished, or it hit a low of about 250 in October of 2022, and it rallied almost $400 a share up to 650. Adobe's been having this pullback though. Here was the prior support right around 500. You got the 200-day moving average coming up right to around 500 as well. So there's probably going to be a little bit more selling in Adobe. I don't see it all of a sudden turning back around. You may have some sideways action, maybe a little more selling. I don't see it falling all the way back to 500. It'll probably fall a little bit more, do some sideways action. The RSI is not really oversold, but it is more oversold than it would be overbought. So I can see Adobe pulling back maybe to 550 and then maybe catching a bid and going higher there. But it's been a strong stock in 2023. Don't really have any feelings about it right now. I would like to see it go sideways. I don't want to see it come down to 500, but it's sold off. It's had some good selling, so it's probably going to go sideways here for a little bit. Let's look at Nvidia. And all these things that I'm saying here, it's not all 100%. These are just the things that I'm seeing on the charts. This is not financial advice in any way, shape, or form. These are just the things that I'm seeing on the charts. Nvidia, another incredibly strong stock. 2023 was just an incredible year for Nvidia. It's been having trouble getting above $500 a share. You can see the sideways channel between $500 and $400 a share. It's been bouncing in there, but it's been catching these moving averages. You got the 50-day here, 20-day here. It's only going to be a matter of time before it blasts through 500 and keep going. It's starting to build up. You can see, let's draw another line here. You can see here, it's got this, the uptrending sort of price action here. It's going up, coming down a little, going up, coming down a little, but it has not broke this uptrend part. So you've got this, what's called a flat top triangle here, okay? An ascending triangle. It's gonna blast through that 500. Mark my words. It's gonna blast through that 500 and it's gonna keep going. The more times it's pushing up against that 500, eventually it's gonna give way and it's gonna go up. So keep an eye on Nvidia, $500 key level. All right. So let's see what other stocks we have. Microsoft. Oh, we looked at Microsoft. Did we look at Microsoft already? Microsoft doing well, coming back down to the 50-day moving average. If I looked at it already, I apologize. I don't want to spend any time on that anymore. AMD, strong chip stock as well. I've always liked AMD. Once again, here's the 20-day moving average. So it's sitting right on that 20-day moving average. Ended 2023 really well, having the little bit of a pullback, little profit taking. Okay, AMD. So I'm waiting and thinking these stocks are all going to start moving higher again. Netflix. Let's look at Netflix. Here's that. Just like Nvidia, you got the $500 level. It's it got up to it, but it fell back a little bit. But I have to believe the assault on $500 is going to be happening again. The stock's been moving up, trying to push through that resistance. So keep an eye on Netflix. Keep an eye on that $500 level. Let's see. Disney. Okay, let's look at Disney. It had been down in the dumps for a long time. You know, $80 level was that pandemic low back in 2020. And it's bounced, but you look at the convergence of all the moving averages. You got the 20-day, 200-day, 50-day, all around this 90 level. It had a nice move up. It's kind of consolidating. I think the next move for Disney is going to be higher. It's just biding its time here right around 90. So if I was going to take a shot at Disney, I would be on the bullish side. It just looks like, this is a typical pattern. You got a nice up move, a little pullback to sideways action. It's sitting right on the support of the moving averages. I think Disney's next move is going to go higher. So if you wanted to dip your toes in around that 90 area, would be a decent area of support. Let's see what else we have here. The healthcare stocks, I think, are starting to get a bid here. Let me close this message. Eli Lilly, extremely volatile stock, extremely volatile. I mean, it moves pretty darn big. It would be hard. It's hard for me to even play it. It's kind of scary the way it moves. But Eli Lilly, look at it. It's just a strong move in 2023, and it's bucking the trend so far in 2024, going up. That's Lilly. BMY, Bristol Myers. We have a trade on in Bristol Myers. We got long. We sold some puts on Bristol Myers. We see that the bottom has finally occurred here. What I like here is that you see this downside action, this price action, but yet the RSI was moving higher. That's what we call divergence, bullish divergence. If the price action was coming down, but the RSI was going up, that means the selling is slowing down. Okay, and you can see now the price action started to move up again. So we got long. The 20-day moving average has crossed above the 50-day moving average. You can see it right here. So we like Bristol Myers here. We had talked about Pfizer in the past as well. Pfizer also starting to catch a bid here. Got some oversold levels. Has finally moved above the 20-day moving average and gotten above the 50-day, but pulled back a little bit. So Pfizer, the jury's still not out yet. It may start to pull back a little, but we like Bristol Myers a little bit better as far as the bullishness goes. Let's see what else we can find here. Okay, let's talk about Verizon, because Verizon was a stock that I used as the poster child for bearish action, where I love Verizon, but I couldn't get in for a long period of time because it just kept going down and down and down and down. And every time you thought it hit a bottom, you try to pick a bottom, and then it would keep going down. But I mentioned a few weeks ago, Verizon finally got above all the moving averages right here. So this was the end of November. It finally got some mojo here. Yeah, 30 was the low, got up above 35, and now so if you go back and look at some of the videos I made in November, you can see I'm starting to get bullish on Verizon, and obviously it's gone up. It's got up to $40 now. So it's time to really consider a bullish trade on Verizon. I think, the bottom's finally come in, and now people are feeling okay about buying Verizon. And look how it's done. The first week of 2024, it's had a nice move. So I'm liking Verizon here. I'm probably going to start looking at some trades for our newsletters if I can find some on Verizon. Costco, such a strong stock, also very volatile. If you're playing this stock, be really careful. It was stuck in this range for a while, and then it just finally blasted through. Had this pullback, but once again, pulled back to the moving average. These moving averages are just like magnets. It's a very expensive stock. So if you're going to play it, be safe. It's probably it's starting to bounce here, so it's probably going to keep going to all-time new highs. McDonald's looking good. Had a nice move higher. Let's look at Pepsi. Let's look at Pepsi here. Historically, great dividend stock. Had all of 2020 2022 was going up. All of 2023 was going up till the summer started to come down. And now it's been in this sideways channel here. So Pepsi's sort of moving sideways, not much happening there, but it's a great dividend paying company if you're looking for something like that. Coca-Cola, also great dividend paying company. We talked about Coca-Cola when for some reason out of the blue, it just fell out of its channel, got hit really hard. RSI was way oversold. I said it's time to buy some Coke down here. I bought some shares in the low 50s and it's had the nice move up, but it's hovering right on the 50-day move. I mean, the 200-day moving average here, waiting to try to get through it. And I'm thinking that Coke's just going to, keep moving back up to the range where it had been. So Coca-Cola there, Johnson & Johnson, starting to move up for healthcare stocks. Let's quickly look at Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway fund. I mean, things just keeps going up over time. Let's look at the monthly on Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway. These are the Class B shares. These are the cheaper shares. Just moves up over time. Greatest investor of all time. So here's back to the daily. I like Berkshire Hathaway. It's got a nice upward movement here. Here's I think this was the all-time high right here, above 370. It's moving up. I wrote a report on Warren Buffett. If you want something else to take a look at, go to our services tab and click on the shop thing here, and it's going to bring up a page about another report that I wrote, how to use a certain option trade by piggybacking off of Warren Buffett. So interesting strategy. You may want to take a look at that. But, following Warren Buffett, just, you can buy his Berkshire Hathaway shares and you're involved in every stock that he's involved in. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that. All right. So Warren Buffett's thing looks good. It's Berkshire Hathaway. Meta. Here's another chart pattern. I like Meta as far as the stock charts go. Do I like Meta as a company itself? Not really. Not a huge fan. But, we're here to make money. So what do the charts say about Meta? It looks good. We've got this ascending triangle. Here is the resistance area. It finally broke through it. But look how it pulled right back to that where the breakout level. Got the 20-day moving average here. So I like Meta going up in the near future. It's still above this resistance area. It's ascending, meaning it's more bullish than not. So I think Meta is just going to keep going up. So Meta, I'm bullish on as far as trading goes. Let's wrap this up. We're getting a little bit long here. Anything else that I see? I think that's about it. All right. So let's quickly just run back to the SPY here and, get ready for next week here. SPY, pulling back a little bit right near the 20-day moving average. May have a little bit more pullback, maybe a little bit more selling to do, but I really don't see that. The RSI is sort of in the middle here. So it may kind of meander around and then the bullishness will come back out again. All right. So that's it for the synopsis here. That's the charts, getting yourself ready for next week and making these free videos for the trading community. If this has been helpful to you, please give me a thumbs up, give me a like, put a comment in below. Don't forget to subscribe. You can hit that red subscribe button. It's right there in the right-hand corner of the video. And below in the description of the video, I got lots of links for websites that I like, some books that I like, some other services that I like. So scroll through the description, read what I have there, and those should be able to help you as well. All right, so that's it for me today. I hope everyone has a great trading week ahead. Hopefully I'll be back next week. Either I'm going to make another video like this or on an options trading strategy. All right, that's all for me. This is Lee Lowell signing off.